Here. Welcome to
Hello.
ABC's basically Creationeer Business Story. So we are excited to be here. I'm Myhriah Young. This
I
is Amanda
am
Goff.
Amanda Goff. Yes.
Okay, we are going to introduce ourselves into a little bit more. So Amanda, let's start with you. Can you share a little bit just kind of about let's start with just what we do in general. We won't get into our AI story quite yet, but what do you do? And yes, let's just go
Yes. So I own a company called Silver Keys Media that I launched in 2014, and it has been an amazing vehicle for me to do what I love to do, which is visual storytelling. So I work with creatively minded business owners, aka a lot of them are neurodivergent and have ADHD like I do, and help them capture and craft and hone in their brand story, unlock that potential behind that story, and help them attract the people that they want to work with through visuals. So that's either video, images, or just overall the visual brand side of their business.
Awesome. Awesome. Yeah. And so then I work with 48 Days to the Work You Love. And in there, I work with a lot of entrepreneurs and small business owners. I help them to build, whatever it is that they are looking to build, coaching businesses. I mean, really, we have a variety of businesses in there. So it's not just one type of business. And then I am the CEO of the Gals community. And now AI prompt creationeer with ABC. So we both, about November, would you say last year, when ChatGPT came out?
Yeah, we both, we're hearing the murmurs of it. And what is this? Yeah, and I'd actually been in AI in some capacity a little bit because there's a lot with like chatbots and autoresponders and just taking interest in it. But ChatGPT, yeah, I would say last November was about a year ago. We both were like, what is this thing?
Yeah. Yeah. And I think we both kind of dove in different ways, and we kind of had different reasons for jumping in too, right? So what was, when you first found out about ChatGPT, what were kind of your thoughts, your reasoning behind diving in? Like, can you share that with us?
So I think for me, what I loved about ChatGPT, because I had actually been introduced to a couple of the other platforms like Jasper, which was something else, and a few of the others that were a paid platform. They didn't really have a free option, and so I was playing with those. And then when ChatGPT came along, it's like, this is a very user friendly in the sense of like low entry point, being able, for the masses, so to speak. And so I started checking it out, and it actually, Myhriah, was you at our gals retreat, because I'm also a gals director, that you were like, oh my gosh, check this out. And we were, I think, just talking about creating content for our group, helping us craft gals content, some maybe, just getting ideas. And so you were kind of the inspiration. I was like, okay, I'm going to dive in the deep end. and it has been amazing. And it's actually been really cool because I'm in a mastermind program. And at the time, they were really, really focused on these other platforms and kind of like, I don't know about this ChatGPT thing. It's a little clunky. And now that's the sole focus of where they're really equipping people, because again, it's a low entry point. So, and how about you, Myhriah? I know you've been playing with ChatGPT probably a little bit longer than I have.
Yeah, it's kind of fun because I think you were playing more with Canva. And I was playing more with ChatGPT. And so the combo has been such a beautiful combination, really. Yeah, for me, it was, working with coaches and small business owners on a daily basis, recognizing that they get stuck in the weeds of all the things that like keep them from building their business, and having, I do a lot of sales and sales processes, and I'm learning about sales all the time. I recognize, I was like, oh, some of this stuff just needs to be done so that you can actually get to the sales part of your business and be profitable. And so I recognized very quickly, I didn't want to become the AI expert because it changes every day. Right. And so that
like
wasn't
being a
my
social
goal.
media expert, you're like, well,
Right.
That's a lot of
No
work.
desire there. Exactly. But what I did recognize was that I could help people to build what they want to build. I mean, everyone gets in their business for a reason, right? And we won't dive into this quite yet, but for a mission, for a message, for something, a purpose. And when you start to get into the weeds of the business pieces, that can really stop people in their tracks. And so I recognize this was, like you said, a really great low entry point tool to help people build their ideal businesses. And so that's specifically what I got into AI for.
Yeah. And I want to tag on to that too. I think for me in my work with just my clients, I was kind of behind the scenes, just experimenting, and almost feel like I was cheating a little bit, because a lot of the work that I would do with clients is I would help them craft, especially if they've worked with me one-on-one, help them actually craft their messaging, craft their mission statement, like you said, vision statement, all of those brand foundational pieces. And I would, it would take me several hours to look through their assessments and craft the things that they needed to craft. And so when I had this lovely chat that I could just kind of, it's like a sounding board for me personally. And I can say, hey, and that's where kind of that prompting comes in, that you've really helped people craft. And I've realized, okay, yeah, this is basically building a prompt that you can use over and over and over again. And then you train that, called train your dragon, because it's kind of like a little wild beast that helps you out. It was something that I was like, wow, this is such a huge time saver. And I'm not, I'm not cheating. I'm just using it as a sounding board. And I think you and I, when we start realizing the power of this, we're both the type of person that we're like, okay, wait a second. Let's make sure that we're doing this the right way. Let's make sure that the legalities of it, let's make sure all of those things are, how can we do this with integrity? And that's kind of, I think, where we came together this year of like, there's something here.
Yeah. And of course, we'll go into that a little bit here in just a minute too. Yeah. So I love that. We both saw the potential to help people.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, and that's where our heart is with it for sure. And I think that's actually, it's not even in our notes, but Amanda, we've both seen there's a lot of fear behind AI.
Yes.
So much fear. And so that's something that we are really, really passionate about helping people to overcome. And, we don't necessarily believe, I mean, who knows what's going to happen? It could be sci-fi. We don't know. It could be. But the truth is we don't necessarily believe that AI is going to take over everything, but we do believe that humans who embrace AI are going to be the ones who are doing more. There's a lot of opportunity there.
Yeah. What I'll say kind of on that note is that I recently taught a workshop. I normally go to my go-to brand, visual brand, how to show up and all of that. And I was like, no, I need to shift this. And talked about, marrying or balancing AI and the human side of things, because I think there's starting to be that conversation on the forefront. Mm-hmm. And it was a group of, I knew probably about a quarter of the room. The other part of the room in our community were newer to me, but I asked, I was like, who's using AI? And out of a room of about 20, I think there was about 27 people, there's probably only maybe 10
Mm.
8 to 10 people that raised their hand. So only half. And then we talked about the fears. And like exactly like you said, that there's just so much like, oh my gosh. But I will say at this point, we've already lived through sci-fi with the
Right.
pandemic.
We've
Like
definitely lived through some
we've
sci-fi.
already lived that. And I don't think people realize how much that we've actually lived with AI for a long time. It's not new. Every time you Google something, that is in essence AI, because you've got something in the background artificially pulling information for you. It's just now being more crafted to be intentional. So,
Great point. Great
um,
point.
and I want to kind of ask you, Myhriah, because I know with what you've done in 48 days, you've helped a lot of individuals. You've been in some amazing conversations, and I tell maybe a little bit about because I think there's some you don't have to drop names or anything, but some big people out there that were not too into AI, and you've kind of opened their eyes.
Yeah, I think that actually segues perfectly into our story, right? We've been diving into AI. I've been sharing about AI in my group. I'm part of the 48 Days Eagles community, which is a offshoot of Dan Miller and his book, 48 Days to the Life and Work You Love. Very popular podcast, very popular book. Dave Ramsey and him built their businesses together. Such a great opportunity to get to work with them. And so I've been sharing a little bit here and there about what I'm doing. And, like I said, I was sharing it with clients to kind of help them do what they need to do. And an opportunity arose in that we were teaching some classes, and somebody just happened to ask, like, hey, do we have anybody teaching a basics class on AI? And so that, Ashley, Dan's daughter, who I work with very directly, reached out and was like, hey, somebody mentioned this, and would you be interested? And I was like,
Right.
Yeah, I would actually. I was, because I had at this point, I hadn't decided if I was going to teach AI, but a few things happened within that time of like, I had one client tell me I was an AI whisperer and why am I not teaching this? And I was like, okay, I'm going to accept that and lean into it. And okay, I'll receive that. And, and then Ashley asking. And so I immediately reached out to Amanda and I was like, I think we need to do something with this. I think we need to start teaching it. I don't really know what this looks like 100%, but here's the opportunity. I think we should do this together. I really feel like with our combination of AI and Canva, which by the way, if you guys don't know, Amanda's a Canva queen. She's amazing. But with those things and our ability to see human potential and cultivate that and develop it really is what I think makes AI so strong. So we did this class, and right in the middle of the class, I don't even remember when it was, one person, and I'm going to go ahead and give him a shout out, Mark Alewine, said, hey, you guys should have a membership and teach people this. And I was like, oh, yeah, we probably should.
Right.
And that was in October. So guys, this is very new. October, we said, oh, maybe we should put a membership together. And so we started working on it. And I also have to just thank Dan Miller just publicly. He has been a huge advocate for us. He's talked, I've heard him, I listened to a podcast the other day and I didn't even know he talked about me, but he totally did. They're building their, AI club and they're doing all this new stuff. And it's just, wow, I'm beyond humbled by that. And so we've been just playing around with it. It is kind of the wild, wild west a little bit.
It is.
And, my community has been a part of this as well, just watching what we're doing and how we're doing it. And like, hey, how do we put a package together for this? I don't even know, and so we've really we've really been just playing with it. And so, Amanda, I want to know from you, I don't know what your feelings were when we first started talking about this. And like, you and I've done a lot. We've both we're both serial entrepreneurs. We both have done many different things. How, like, tell me your side of the story of this whole scenario.
Yeah. So, yeah, Myhriah was teaching this class and said, "Hey, do you want to come on and help me?" Because we've actually learned just through working with each other as gals directors, there's very complementary between what Myhriah does for business strategy and signature self and really helping people tap into who they are with confidence. And then on the visual, and I think putting it to action side for me is with the brand, with a brand, building a brand, whether that's a personal brand. We all have a brand. Like,
Yeah.
we have to just realize, like, we all have a brand, whether we actually intentionally craft the brand or not. We have a brand. And so she invited me graciously to come on and help with that workshop. And that I think is where we both went, light bulb moment. Wow. So many people, like you said, there's a fear, and we just don't need to be fearful when you can, I think, do it with intention. When you do anything with intention and thought, you don't have to have fear around it, because you are stopping, thinking, and doing. What we're trying to help people do is not get stuck in the weeds and not be frozen by that fear or get stuck in the sense of just overthinking it. Because I can definitely be an overthinker, and I've definitely had the brakes on things when I'm like, well, why didn't I do that sooner? And yeah, just being able to take something like this and basically live out what I tell a lot of people is done is better than perfect. And just kind of dive in. And so we actually decided, hey, let's do this, see this, and then realize we're kind of what we're wanting to help other people do, getting things done, not being in the weeds, and doing things with intention, is we're modeling it.
Yeah.
In the process, like in real time right now.
Yes. And that perfectly leads right into our next topic of, like, we just started. We didn't, and I think in the world of AI, we've had to, because it changes so quickly. I mean, I feel like what we did is we jumped in the fast lane on the freeway. Sometimes you get in the fast lane and you got somebody driving on your butt and you're like, I can't get back over. And you're just like, okay, I guess I'm just going to go.
Yeah.
And then eventually you get back over and you're like, oh, okay. Whew. But we ended up jumping into that fast lane with AI, and it changes on such a daily basis. I mean, I have people sending me almost every day, oh, did you hear that this happened? Like when the CEO of ChatGPT, got fired and came back, and all this stuff that happened in like 1 week. It happened in 1 week, stuff that usually happened in like a month's time.
Yeah, he was fired, then rehired. Like,
yeah. Yeah, the whole I mean, it was just like all this stuff. And I'm like, and people message me, hey, did you hear this happen? I get a text message on my phone, and I get message, and I'm like, oh my gosh, yes, I do. I do, because everybody's messaging me about it. But yeah, like, it is a very fast thing. But that's also why we're so passionate about making sure that you don't get stuck in the weeds, because, every day you have 5 to 10 new platforms of AI that you could learn. But every time you jump into one of those, it takes time, it takes training, it takes all these things. And we recognize that with what Amanda said, progress, not perfection, keep it simple, sweetie methods. We really want to focus on helping people get profitable. And we truly believe that with AI, Canva, and Google, those 3 things, throw in a couple little things which we'll throw in here and there, you can build a profitable business. And we have been the case study for that. So Amanda, do you want to share about kind of where we're at? And I mean, we literally started middle of October, and here we are end of November.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly it. We've just kind of dove in. So yeah, we started, I think, with the idea first and foremost of a membership. Okay, how can we make this work? And I've done a membership, Myhriah's done a membership. So for us, it wasn't like, okay, this isn't a foreign concept. What can we do? And we really just started it with the fact that, hey, we'll have people show up. We're going to lead. We're still figuring out the topics for into the new year in 2024, but basically have a focus each month that we're helping people. Second week of the month, we're kind of training overview, show you, teach you to fish so you can fish yourself, so to speak, and then being able to help people on the fourth week of the month be able to actually implement and get things done, right?
Yes.
But what it's done is it's opened up the possibilities, and we both have to go, okay, we got all these ideas.
So many
so
ideas.
I think the next thing that came about was of just having especially we had a lot of people interested because we've been focusing on your brand, identifying what that is, like crafting your brand and training your AI platform. And we're trying to keep it really simple, like Myhriah said. We're using 3 tools to build this. We're building it with these 3 tools, and we want to encourage others to not, there's so much out there, so much. And there's great tools out there. So we're not saying don't use other tools, but if you start with the basics and don't get overwhelmed, start with plain old Google Drive, Google Forms.
Yep.
You got all the things. You start with ChatGPT, the free account.
Yep.
I'm still on a free account. I'm going to be moving over to a paid account soon, but I'm still on a free account because I like to push things to their limits personally and see how
much can I get?
How much can I get with it? So you start with the free account, and then the only paid account we're really encouraging people to have is one for Canva, because there's so much you can do in that account. And by paying for it, you actually are kind of paying the use license for images, music, video, all of those things.
Yeah. And it's like $15 a month.
Actually, I think right now, it's like $9 if you pay it for a year.
There you go.
Which is, huge savings.
Especially for what you get with Canva. Right? It's huge. Oh my gosh. We won't go there because
we will go there someday with a whole. We are. In fact, a course yet for that.
In January, there is a course. We put it in there. Today we're doing it for $58. It's just going to keep going up. So make sure you sign. It was $48 for Black Friday, Cyber Monday. We'll plug this one more time, but it's $58 right now. So you can get it. It will be a $98 course when we're finished with it. So
get it now. And a little overview of all of these things. But we realized that this was a new concept. So I think the next idea was to have a kind of get it all done in one weekend. A Friday night, Saturday, half day workshop. So that's in the works. And we've been getting that developed. That, basically we'll guide you. We're here to show you what to do this ahead of time, to be prepped and get it done fast, save time and learn those things. But really, I think it's the idea between the workshops that we have, like Myhriah mentioned, coming up in January, and the Creationeer Club, being able to show people just how to leverage these tools to work. I know it's kind of gets overused, but work smarter than harder, because it really is something that if you can lean into something like AI to be your think tank, to be your sounding board, to help craft those things that you're like, I don't want to do this.
Mhm.
Like, for example, just little side segue, but we actually discovered this when we were planning for a for gals. We went down to Texas in October and spoke at an event down there, and we were preparing materials for that. So we had a postcard that we were going to have available for people to take information. So it talked about our gals group. It talked about a couple of the programs we have. And around that time, Canva had rolled out their Magic Studio. And I played with it. And a lot of it, I think they just condensed a lot of the AI pieces into one more easy, user-friendly portion of their AI. So
Mhm.
so we took it, and I was like, okay, we were on a call, and I was like, let's see what this does. So we went on to the Magic Studio, and we were on the postcard, and we clicked, and you can take a document you've created in there, more of an advertisement, so to speak, or a promotional piece. And the first thing we did is, I think we turned it, you could create an email. So it actually crafted a beautiful email. Yes, as we always suggest, we would go in and tweak it and bend
Finesse.
it and make it ours.
Yeah. Yes.
Gallify it in that instance.
Yes.
But we turned it into a song. You could turn it into song lyrics. And it wasn't actually half bad, but
It wasn't terrible.
It was kind of goofy.
It was.
And to the point that we had a couple of our gals directors convinced that was the song we were going to sing as we go on stage.
I performed too. Oh, yeah.
But it's the fact that it's, oh my gosh, in Lickety Split, you can create one thing and then craft and reuse that. And even in ChatGPT, you can take information and then plug it in and say, hey, can you make this out of that? And that's really kind of the power of what we're wanting to help people embrace and really see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And we really thank you. I'm not sure who's commenting, but we do have a couple of comments. Someone's looking forward to this. Yay. It doesn't show me names. I'm sorry, guys. You will not be disappointed in the skills and knowledge this team has to offer. Thank you, guys. We really appreciate it. Yeah, we are, this has been an interesting journey for us too, in that, we've both been serial entrepreneurs. We've both done many things. We know how to build businesses. Like, we've been doing this for such a long time. And so, one of the things that I've always taught, but this has really made me have to practice what I preach, is accepting that we have a gift. We have something that we have really, truly learned. And in a way that I really feel showcases and highlights the human factor.
Yeah.
In a world of AI, be human. And that's something that we have said a lot. We are really, really keen to make sure that you guys understand that it is the human element that makes AI great. We can do a lot with AI. It's an amazing sounding board, brainstormer, strategy planner. I mean, you could do so many things with it, but without you,
right,
it's not great. I'm sorry to say, but it's not. It's not smart. It's not intuitive. It just doesn't have the power without you. And so that is where we want to focus. We want to help you get stuff done. We want you to keep it simple. We want to help you get profitable. And we really want to make sure that you are using your innovative, creative, human touch to create what you want to create. Absolutely. So with that, one of the reasons that we thought we needed to jump on is because we are practicing what we preach. We are our own case study. So one of the things that I've recognized over the years is that something that's talked about a lot in the entrepreneurial world is getting to your first $1,000 month. Yep. That's huge, right? We've both heard it. Like, how do you get to your first $1,000 month? And considering all the stuff when you get into the entrepreneurial world that you're told, you got to do this. You got to write a book, do a podcast, do this. Like, it is so much information. And so often when I'm working with entrepreneurs and small business owners, I'm just like, do you just want to get profitable? Like, let's just do that.
Yeah.
And so that's where we've come in and we said, okay, we've put these things together. People have literally watched us build this from the middle of October to end of November. And we are excited to share that we're celebrating our over first $1,000 month.
Yay. Yay.
We don't share that to brag. We share it because we truly believe that each individual can do this. And while we can't promise that you're going to get that, if you keep it simple, if you just get the stuff done, that can happen.
Absolutely.
So, Amanda, we have an AI and Canva basics course coming up. Can you share about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So, we basically replicated a little bit of what we initially started with. And what we are doing is in the month of January, I believe we're starting on, I'm just going to pull up a calendar.
On the 9th.
On the 9th. Only because we figured people didn't want to do it on the 2nd. So for...
we won't want to.
Right. So for the 4 Tuesdays in January, we are going to be hosting this workshop and basically laying the foundation first and foremost for those that just the basics. So if you don't know anything about AI, ChatGPT, Canva, all of those things, and you're curious, this is a good workshop to attend because we are going to be at the rudimentary level in a lot of ways. But I do think some people that maybe just use it here and there as well, like they know it, but they're just not really tapped into it, can get a lot out of this, because what we want to do is take those 3 tools, like we said, Google, ChatGPT, and Canva, and show you how you can pull those together to create and leverage your business. So whether that's creating a program, it's creating your content, it's writing your press release, it's whatever it is. These are all things that you can do with those 3 tools quickly. And part of that is also what I talked about a little bit earlier is, how are you training your AI? Because there really is, when you craft it intentionally and you actually inform it intentionally, it does get to a point where it's putting out information that is within your vibe, within your brand voice, within who you are. So again, don't have to have a really big personal brand solidified, but this will get you on the track to crafting that even further. So we start out with the bare basics and then talk about kind of a little bit of a how to dig into ChatGPT. And then we're going to just touch, surface of Canva, because it is a very robust tool, but it's also something that you can use on a very simple level. So I feel that Canva is a very user-friendly for regardless of what level you're at. You'll just really find that, okay, oh, wow, it does that. Oh, wow, it does that. And this is a good entry point for someone who maybe isn't as familiar or is wanting to really get more into leveraging that for their business. So so the 9th, the 16th, the 23rd, and the 30th at 5:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So I'll let you do the math, whatever zone you're in. And for an hour, and it goes fast. We'll be really diving into the basics of AI with those 3 tools.
Now, something to note about our class is because an hour goes fast, we have a lot of information to cover. we start on time and we end on time. We are very it's very important to us. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be recording these as our course, because we both believe, especially as we do our VIP weekends and stuff like that, that this is something that is going to need to be like a preface to the work that we do. Like, we don't want to, especially in those VIP weekends, I am not at all about having questions like, what's a URL or what's ChatGPT? Like, no. That is not what we're doing on these VIP weekends. And I know those of you who are coaches and who have paid for courses before, and you have like those people that sidetrack the meeting because, you know, they're asking those kinds of questions, you will appreciate that. We are not about that. So with that being said, the Q&A for those, you have to be present to be part of. We are not going to record those parts. We are going to cut those off. So if you want to get the real juicy Q&As of those, you've got to be present. We want you to be there. You know, we really, yes, we're in a world of AI, so you can just do whatever you want to do. You could just watch the recording. That's totally fine. But if you want the real quality and our interaction, you got to be there. So make sure that you do that. All right. And so just as we said, we're going to go ahead and wrap this up. Thank you, Amanda, for sharing that. And you guys, we're doing a special deal right now. Like we said, we only want you to come and do this if it's a heck yes. I really am a firm believer that if it is the right fit and it is your time and you're ready to make amazing things happen in 2024, you're going to want to join this class. You're going to want to make sure that you've got this under your belt so that in 2024, you can hit the ground running. And that's what we want for you. So we're doing a $58 special. The price is going to go up. It's not going to go down. So make sure that you get your seat in this course for $58. It's going to go up. And I think we decided in 2 weeks. So make sure you get it now. And then once we put this up, it's a $98 course. So make sure you get in right now. Anything else though, that you want to wrap up with for final thoughts, Amanda?
So yeah, final thoughts. First and foremost, we do have a free community. If you're seeing this other places, because we are streaming live in our AI Brand Creationeers community. It's free. We're doing some great stuff in there too. So if you want to dip your toe, you're not ready on all the other stuff, come join us. We've actually had a really great time with a prompt that I actually got from AI. I crafted the prompts you know, to help leverage about, you know, being a superhero and some of the amazing things that have come out of that.
No, I need to go do that. It's so good.
You do.
I do.
So come find out what that's all about, because what we are doing is we're going to keep people notified of what's coming in for the type of, you know, how you can use this in your brand and business. We're giving prompts. We're not doing deep dive how-tos, but we're definitely starting the conversation. So it's a great place to get acquainted if you are not already part of that group. And
and your tips, I just want to make sure we don't forget about that. You're putting a tip a week in there on whatever topic that we're talking about. And the tips you've been giving about training your AI have been fantastic.
Thank you.
So good. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. We want to, you know, we come from a heart and a soul of helping people. And I've always believed that it's the relationships first and the people first and helping people first with value. If you build your business on that, and that's that human side. So keeping that true to that, everything else falls into place. So that's why we are trying to offer a lot of value, just even in the community. And, you know, if the rest of what we're offering fits, come on down. And if it's not a good time, we'll be here.
We will. It'll still be here. That's right. I love it. And I love this. We got one more comment before we wrap up. This is a phenomenal community to work with. Thank you so much for that. And I'm so sorry. Is it done? Hey, yes, I love it. Ready to pack my tool belt and watch my business grow. That's right. That's what we want for you guys. Absolutely. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us. get in on that $58 course price and come join our free community. We have a lot of fun things going on there. Heck, I'm doing the Advent calendar right now, which I'm super excited about. We have prep days until December 1st. And I've done some of the stuff myself, like putting together my movie list, which I was like, oh, we've added a few movies on here that I didn't even know about. So that has been really fun. Thank you guys for joining us. Join us in the free community. Join us for the course. And of course, if you want any other information about anything, feel free to reach out to us and you can comment here. We'll be paying attention. We just want to help you out. We love what we're doing. We love helping you guys. And I have to say, we're kind of a dynamic duo. You guys are going to learn a lot of amazing things from us. So come join us. We would love to have you.
We would. So, yes. Come on.
All right.
Bye.
Bye, guys.